Hello, this is Fatih, and now we are in Nadir Bitkiler Fidanlığı, which literally translates to Rare Plants Nursey. We are in Istanbul, in Turkey. This is my first shoot in English. Previously, I used to make video clips in Turkish since I believe 2019, I think, and we had quite a lot of video clips in YouTube channel. Again, the channel name is Nadir Bitkiler Fidanlığı. Over the years, I used to watch loads of similar videos on YouTube from other gardens and plant nurseries all around the world, and I really enjoy them, enjoy watching them, and I get loads of tips, ideas, and love to see people's joy and enthusiasm of gardening. So I thought, why not shooting my garden and nursery and garden making in English, so that you can see actually what's going on in this part of the world, because I see so many other places around America, arid regions of America, England, Australia, and loads of other parts of the world, but not over here actually, not so many viewing of this part of the world. We are in Turkey, as I said, in Istanbul. Here the climate is of course have its own properties, conditions, sometimes similar to other parts in the same zone, in the same region, but also have its own peculiarities. So I thought seeing what's going on here with the plants, with the garden making, would be interesting to people who are speaking in English or understand English but not Turkish. You may be expats in Turkey gardening, keen gardeners, or you may be on the other parts of the world again but want some ideas and tips and get some inspiration. Especially we have Mediterranean climate over here, maybe you know, but not that arid. We are in part of Istanbul, on the fringe of Istanbul, the eastern part, which is actually very cold over here, surprisingly, and get lots of rain. Not this year, but since this year, until this year, we had loads of rain, and also cold. We have frosts overnights during the winter time. It's a very long season actually. It starts in the beginning of November and ends around the beginning of April. This year we had very few of them, but normally we have -8, -6 is very usual. It changes year to year, but some years we have -15, -18. I remember once we had -18 even here. Therefore it's not that hot. In summertime it's very hot. Over July and August time we have days over 30 degrees Celsius degrees But other than that, the springtime and autumn time is around 20s. March time is around 10s, 15, 18, 16. That's the usual climate over here. Our plant nursery's name is Nadir Bitkiler Fidanlığı, Rare Plants Nursey. This is called Rare Plants Nursey because this is my hobby actually. I started as a hobby and in years it developed into this business. Now we are producing loads of especially perennial plants because when I started this hobby like around 20 years ago, there were no perennial herbaceous perennials actually. In the garden centers and nurseries, very few of them, very usual plants, but mainly trees and shrubs and bedding plants, annual bedding plants. So as I developed my curiosity over the years, I realized I started reading actually, mainly in English, magazines and books as I found them. I realized there are so many other plants which are really exciting. They grow over a year actually, then they sleep in the winter time, then came back again. So I was very curious of them and start looking for them. Some I could find, but some I couldn't. So in my journeys abroad, I brought seeds, small plants in pots, and started planting them in my own garden first. Then I started to breed them, grow them when it's not fit in my own garden anymore. It happened to be this plant nursery. Now, today we have over 3,500 different species of plants producing here. Mainly again herbaceous perennials, but we also grow shrubs, small trees, and also annuals, and also bulbs. We have a very good collection of plants now, and with this collection I'm also designing and making gardens outside of the plant nursery. This is a nursery, but with, of course, when I started this place, I thought these are the plants which people are not familiar with and don't know how to grow them, don't know what to look for, and because they don't familiar with them, they don't know how they grow, their behavior, how they start in spring and grow in summer and set seed and die back again. They go under the soil again and sleep over the winter time, then come back again. This cycle wasn't known, so I thought I need to actually display the plants in their own cycle. So I prepared these beds, these display gardens with different conditions. For instance, this one actually we renewed last autumn. This was a hyacinthus bed, but I rearranged it with adding loads of different other plants, shrubs and trees. The back part is actually under this lake, this artificial lake, which we made, and so there are plants, marginal plants around that area, and this part, for instance, is for bearded irises. We have now, I think, over 80 different varieties in our collection. This part is actually, we are doing this over the last 2 years. This is the meadow area. It starts with bulbs Then tulips, we now see the narcissus. Hyacinthus, they started yesterday actually. They start flowering. And we're going to see muscarius, crocuses, loads of other bulbs, and also of course tulips. We have loads of like a carpet here, very colorful scene. And we made this like a month ago to actually enjoy this meadow area and sit for some time and see the view. Also, it's I aim it to be like a statue too, like a feature here, prominent feature, with that panel over there. So we have so many different varieties planted already here. This is Mediterranean shrub bed. Last autumn, again, I added these palms. 5 or 6 different palms actually we planted here. These are previous ones. I started this nursery in 2018 in February, and the next January we planted this arid bed, and we planted this bed once and watered once, then never watered again. It's not irrigated, but every year starting from 2019 springtime, it is so colorful, so floriferous, which I even didn't expect actually. So it's also a trial bed, which happened to be really nice, again really abundant in flower, in plants. I add different varieties every year almost, change some of the plants places. There are so many meadow type tulips, also bulbs. They didn't start now. We have this warm weather from the start of February this year. Actually, it's an early warm weather. Normally, we are looking for cemres. Cemre is, I think it's a very old word. It means fire. There are 3 cemre every year, starting the springtime. One is believed to hit the ground, no, hit the air actually, and warm it on the 3rd week of February. On the 4th week of February, heat hits water, which is today actually, and on the 1st week of March, the heat hits the ground, the earth. So the spring starts. This year it started earlier, but every year we actually look for these dates, and we garden accordingly actually here. It's a very old tradition in this part of the world. I've never heard it for other parts of the world actually. This is very special to hear. Normally it suits really like on time, but this year again it's a different year. I think all around the world it's very different weather patterns is happening. But anyway, still the other threshold is actually the spring equinox. Of course, it's the 21st of March. Until that time, the plants will actually be awake, and the spring will start. So this is the nursery, and this is especially, for instance, again another marginal bed. with loads of moisture in it, of course. It is connected to the water of this pond, so always water is absorbed to the ground, to the earth, to the soil. Again, this part is also, the front part is connected to the water, but the back part is over here. Last year we planted this part as tropical garden, so it's full of, actually this one is for instance banana, and large leaves, reds, very hot colors. It's really worth to see. So these are the plants that are on sale. Actually, this is the sales part. Here you can find deciduous shrubs, and along the way it turns into deciduous trees, then evergreen trees, evergreen shrubs. They are all classified here according to their structure, their leaves, their types. So when you come here, you can easily find a suitable plant for your own garden, own conditions. If it's shady area, you can look for the shady area plants here. If it's a sunny area, you can look for the drought tolerant, sun loving plants. These are the 6 main beds which I planted, developed from the beginning of the nursery. So these are really, actually looks really nice over the season. This will be the first session, and there will be few more, of course, over the season, so that you can actually follow how plants grow here, which plants grow here actually, because when I started this gardening hobby, many plants did not exist here in the nurseries, in the markets. And when I find something different, something strange looking, people used to say, oh, this plant would not grow here, it's not suitable for Turkey, for Istanbul. I always say, I try and see for myself, maybe it works. Then I look for some information on how I can grow that plant. Does it love lots of sun or shade? Does it want lots of water or drought, drainage? So my knowledge with plants developed over the years, and many of the plants which I've been told they won't grow here actually would grow. Some of them, yeah, they didn't grow, they are not okay here, but the ones with that I grew, my garden was full of flowers, full of plants, and really flourished, and in time became a nursery. So you can find all those plants and more. Every year we add quite a lot of different varieties, because around the world, around the nurseries in the world, so many plants are being developed and produced and introduced to the market, to the gardeners. So we are following those two and adding our collection. So this is the result. This is our 7th year, and we go on loving plants and producing them. So this is the first session, and I believe I can add some more over the seasons, so that you can see how plants grow here, which plants grow here successfully, and you can try, I'm sure, your own experiments, which I enjoy very much for myself. And if you believe there may be other people interested in making gardens, growing plants, gardening around Turkey, especially around Istanbul, you can send the link to your friends or to those you think they might be interested in gardening in this part of the world. So for this session, this is it from our nursery, from our gardens, and goodbye. Hope to see you again and have days loads of flowers. Bye.